The never-ending story of the Coalition's climate and energy policy. Late yesterday, a joint party room meeting agreed to the new agenda, which prioritises reducing the cost of energy, they say, and offers to subsidise coal and gas plants. Now, reports from the meeting describe moderate Liberal MPs asking lots of questions over the potential for taxpayer funds to be used to underwrite new coal power projects, something Shadow Energy Minister Dan Tehan reportedly dead-batted and referred to a technology-neutral approach. Mr Tehan defended the need to extend the life of coal plants while selling the policy on morning TV.
In the short term, as you are aware, New South Wales Labor government is investing in coal. The Victorian Labor government is investing in coal. And we've said if we come to government, the immediate thing that we want to do is put downward pressure on energy, and we would look in a technology neutral way to adjust the capacity investment scheme so all technologies we could put targeted responses in terms of underwriting. But in the longer term, we want to be able to move to a market where basically it is left up to the market and there would be no underwriting, there would be nothing of that sort.
New Redbridge polling out today paints a precarious position for the Liberal leader, Susan Lee. Now, the Coalition has sunk 5 percentage points in a month to a poll record low of 24%, while support for One Nation rose 4 points to a poll record high of 18%. We're going to talk to Kos Samaras from Redbridge about those numbers a little later on and what they're showing about the moves on the right of politics. Meanwhile, opposition leader Susan Lee dismissed the results when they were put to her this morning.
I'm not interested in polling and I'm not interested in public commentary about polling. What I'm interested in is this plan that delivers affordable energy for households and puts priority on delivering that affordable energy.
Leadership speculation is reaching a fever pitch, with some senior sources saying there was now growing momentum to remove Susan Lee as leader this year rather than to wait until after the summer break into next year. Now, the Prime Minister used questions about energy prices and the Coalition's policy to have a dig at the aspirations of several Liberal MPs to the top job.
It is just a policy to try and get the Leader of the Opposition through to Christmas as the leader, in spite of the fact she is being undermined each and every day by her own colleagues who are doing, what was the Angus Taylor double-page spread about in the Telegraph on Saturday and Sunday? And Andrew Hastie is out there parading around as an alternative leader as well. And then you have other people like Melissa McIntosh and others all out there putting themselves forward. There's no discipline.
Malcolm Turnbull is a former Liberal Prime Minister who, of course, lost his job on the basis of these sorts of policies on the climate, and he joins us now. Welcome.
Oh, thank you very much, Patricia. I lost my job twice, you could say, as leader.
I was about to say, but I didn't want to rub it in, right? Okay, so
you don't want to rub it in.
You have been there and done that. You've already been critical of the policy generally in relation to abandoning net zero. Yesterday, though, a new front in all of this. The Nationals and the Liberals coming together with their brochure that they've put out now on their future of the energy climate policies. What did you make of what they released? Well,
look, it's the same problem the Coalition's been bedevilled with for really ever since 2009, which was the first time I lost the leadership of the Liberal Party over energy and climate. Basically what has happened is that the right wing of the Liberal Party, which consists of most of the Liberal Party nowadays, and the National Party, have turned what should be a matter of engineering and economics and facts into an ideological culture war issue. Now, back in, 20 years ago, renewables were more expensive than burning coal, but we argued that we should pay the price to, cut our emissions to save the planet. Now we're in the happy circumstance where the cheapest forms of new generation are renewable, above all solar. And the millions and millions of Australians that have solar panels on their roofs understand that. So what you've got is a fact-free, reality-free culture war going on, and it is designed to gratify the right-wing sort of media ecosystem dominated by Sky News, and that is basically what is now in charge of the coalition. So that's why I say, I feel sorry for Susan Lee.
Do you? Why do you feel sorry for her?
I feel sorry for her because she's in a fish tank consisting of goldfish that have no, have no memory, that forget everything that they've done the last time round, and they act like piranhas. They just want to eat each other. So it's they've got the memory of goldfish and the dining habits of piranhas.
Okay, so they're pretty busy at the moment. There's no doubt about it. They did release this policy yesterday,
wanting to eat each other,
and that policy is pretty interesting. It seems to open the door to potentially subsidising coal. What did you make of that?
How insane is that? I mean, think about it. The only reason you would have to subsidise coal is because the market won't invest in it. And as Anthony Albanese said, why won't the market invest in it? Because it is less, it's too expensive. I mean, why are electricity prices higher today than they were, last year or a few years ago? I mean, they've actually been coming down a bit. Wholesale prices have been coming down. But the big factor is the cost of gas. It is the things that are pushing down the cost of electricity prices, or at least are countervailing influences, are the fact that renewables, particularly solar, is so much cheaper. And then, of course, you talk about coal-fired power stations. We've got old coal-fired power stations that are getting to the end of their life. Some of them are really ancient. And maybe you can squeeze a couple more years out of a few of them, but it's very hard and becomes increasingly expensive, and they become increasingly unreliable. And again, this is a point that the energy sector understands, because as they become more unreliable, that again means you need to rely on gas
so
more.
So when Susan Lee says that energy prices will be cheaper under the coalition's plan, it's not, you don't agree?
No, look, absolutely not. I mean, it is very clear that the right thing for us to do, and I mean both in terms of affordability and environmental responsibility, is to continue the transition to a system where our bulk of our primary generation is from solar and wind, backed up by batteries and pumped hydro, and keep some gas in reserve for peaking. But it is that's the best solution. Okay. I mean, it's very clear that's the way to go. And the cost of, I go back to when I was John Howard's Environment Minister, back in the days when the Liberal Party supported an emissions trading scheme, before these culture wars overtook common sense and rationality. Back in those days, if I had said in 20 years or 15 years or whatever, the cost of solar will have declined by more than 90%, you would have thought I was crackers. But it has. The fact is we now have cheaper and cheaper renewable electricity, and that's our big comparative advantage in Australia, because we've got a lot of land, we've got a lot of sunshine, and we can take advantage.
So let me take you to Susan Lee's predicament, because she's in a bit of a pickle at the moment, it seems. The Conservatives...
To say the least.
Yeah, really, it was a polite way of putting it. She's having a tough time. The Conservatives are on the march. It looks like some moderates, not all, some moderates are switching perhaps to Andrew Hastie, and they want to dump her. Would that be wise? Well, look,
I mean, they're in a... I'm not going to give an opinion on that. I mean, I think the fundamental problem that the Liberal Party has got now is that it is essentially dominated by a membership that is, in itself, has a majority of people who are getting their political views from that, right-wing media ecosystem that I talked about earlier. And, these are just completely they're out of touch with reality.